This is
tonight's game. Let me take over the show.
Hold on.
Tonight, the Warriors are playing the Rockets. Dwight Howard's in the game. Should he been suspended, Les Shapiro?
No, I don't think so. I thought it was more flagrant than Al Horford's the other night, but I don't think he should be suspended for that. I thought it was heat of the moment stuff. I didn't think it was terrible. I don't know that I would have even thrown him out of the game. And if I'm not throwing him out of the game, I'm not going to keep him from playing the next game.
Okay, so in the letter of the law, the NBA, you cannot throw an elbow. Guess who threw an elbow and got suspended for 2 games? Remember anybody in the playoffs?
J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith threw a punch. It doesn't say connect. It says if you throw an elbow or a fist. So people are saying, well, it didn't. He ended up just hitting him with his hand. Intent is as strong as the actual commitment of the crime. So I'm saying to you, based on the playoffs, Horford, J.R. Smith, that we now have a situation in the NBA. These are not the Detroit Pistons bad boys. This is not where they used to undercut guards. Now they're playing a more civil game. Is that fair?
Sure.
It's a game where they want scoring just like the NFL does. They want you to score points. They don't want 84 to 73 games. Dwight Howard's intent was to commit a malicious act there, was to throw an elbow and hit a guy in the face with it. He kind of missed and then hit his hand, but his intent, if we ever learn, I'm not... No,
who was hanging on him? Who was the player that was hanging on him at the time? Andrew Bogut?
Yeah.
Bogut was kind of smothering him. He kind of had him in a bear hug almost.
But he didn't.
And Dwight Howard was just getting him off.
Okay. So
I didn't think it was that bad.
If you push me, think about this, everybody. If Les Shapiro doesn't like what I say, which is all the time, and you push me, what is my response? I got 2 responses. I can either brush it off, or 2, I can hit you. Well, guess what? Who has committed the more malicious act? You pushing me or me hitting you in the face?
All right, I'll play along. Probably the latter.
Thank you. I rest my case. Okay. Bogut got in his chin. He got in his grill. He was creating problems for him. He started it. You've been around. You keep saying you're naive. You've been around basketball forever. You go to more Nuggets games than most people. That the guy who starts and initiates an act is not the guy they usually catch. It's the other guy.
Correct.
Now, you can't do what you did in the old Scott Hastings, Detroit. I don't want to put him at the top of that.
Rick Mahorn.
Yeah.
How about that one?
Who was the center? Bill Laimbeer.
Bill Laimbeer,
They had a lot of guys, and they
had
pushed
very
around. Sharp
elbows.
Now they're eyes in the sky everywhere. There's instant replay. You could get away with stuff, giving them the business, but you can't get away with it now. But the NBA is not judging it consistently.
Exactly. Let me ask you something.
So
along that line, okay? Let me ask you something. What do we usually say happens in the playoffs? The style of play. What happens in the playoffs?
Well, running and gunning usually is slow down the physical play, speeds
That's
up.
it. The physical play. They allow more physicality in the playoffs. It becomes a tougher game. It becomes a more physical game. It becomes a more low-scoring game. It's much more about defense in the playoffs in the NBA, and the referees allow players to get away with a lot more.
Oh, is this right?
And there's much more. Is it right? I didn't say it was right. What I'm saying is it's consistent year after year that this is what's allowed in the playoffs. More physical play, and that's what we've been seeing from Al Horford, from J.R. Smith, from Dwight Howard. Now, J.R. Smith, what he did was absolutely malicious. He knew exactly where that guy's jaw was.
So did Howard.
Let me finish. He knew exactly where that guy's jaw was, and he ripped him with an elbow.
That's what Dwight Howard was doing.
And made contact. That was as malicious as I've seen, okay? Outside of Rudy Tomjanovich, getting it years ago.
Have you pull up on your iPad and look at that again?
I did look at it. I looked at it a number of times.
What did he do?
I don't think that Al Horford's thing and Dwight Horford's thing were as flagrant as J.R. Smith's. And because Horford or Andrew Bogut initiated and really had him in a bear hug, and Dwight was just trying to get him off, I'm okay with it.
So if I come over and I go, Les, go like that. That's pretty hard to do what I just did. You have a right to hit me?
I didn't say
You
that.
have to have a right to not try and knock my teeth out?
No, but I have a right to just keep you off me. And that's what they allow in the NBA. They allow that in the playoffs.
So help me out here.
No, don't
Keeping
hit
me
anymore.
off would be. I'm
No,
not going to
really,
hit you.
'cause if
I'm not going to
piss me
touch you.
off,
I'm not going to touch.
I might have to do the rest of the show
I'm not going to touch
by
you.
myself.
I'm not going to touch you.
What?
I'm saying. So if a guy is, you're bear hugging me. So I push you off by doing this.
Yeah.
I don't push you off by going wham.
It depends on what's convenient at the time.
Horford was okay because he was doing the turnbuckle kind of thing.
Yeah.
Boom. You
Yeah.
know,
That was a little extra shot.
Yeah, but no, and Horford wasn't. And by the way, why we were laughing is you said Al Horford, Dwight Horford. So we just want to get that straight that he was talking about Dwight Howard, not Al
Pretty
Horford's
sure everybody
brother.
knew what I was talking about.
Well, there could be a Dwight Horford somewhere in the South that's doing. But you say, I can't believe you. So J.R. Smith was malicious. Dwight Howard did the same thing. He did the same thing and didn't get suspended for one game. Do you think it's possible? Well, I'll end on this. Do you think it's possible? The NBA said, man, this is going to be tough enough for the Houston Rockets to win against the Warriors.
Oh, I don't
anyway.
think they like it when star players are thrown out of games or suspended.
Well, then those star players are to A, learn how to shoot free throws, and B, not trying to commit malicious acts during a game.
This portion of the big stuff presented by the Celtic Tavern,
C,
the official
play for a
sponsor
better team.
of the Colorado Rapids. The Celtic provides a bus to every Colorado Rapids home game. You can tailgate 2 hours before kickoff with all your soccer-loving buddies. It's just 2 blocks west of Coors Field on Blake. It's the Celtic Tavern.